So if you've been subscribed to the channel, you might have noticed that Hyatt is getting a lot of love this week because of a few things. Firstly, their new bonus on their Hyatt credit card. Secondly, the fact that I applied to that Hyatt credit card and I'm now working towards that sign-up bonus. And thirdly, I recently stayed at the Park Hyatt in New York City and had a lovely experience. But there are two awesome features or two awesome benefits that you get that not a lot of people talk about, and I'm calling these the superpowers or the secret superpowers of the Hyatt loyalty program, and it's what makes it pretty much the best and my favorite hotel loyalty program on the market. So let's talk about what those two secrets are, because anybody can implement them, and I think it's extremely beneficial for everybody. So let's start with the first one, which is going to be the ability to combine points with any other World of Hyatt member once every single month. So recently I ended up going to CES, which is in Vegas, and Vegas has a couple of World of Hyatt hotels, but there is a Destination by Hyatt hotel called the Rio Hotel Resort, and it's about 9,000 points per night. Now, I ended up sharing my room with somebody else, with another coworker, but I only ended up staying 3 nights, whereas he stayed 4 nights. And we tried to divvy this up and figure out exactly how to do this, because I wanted to use points to book this thing, and so did he, and he's a big World of Hyatt member. And we ended up finding out that you can actually combine World of Hyatt points with any other member. It doesn't have to be somebody from your household or somebody from your family. Any other Hyatt member can combine points, but the process is a little bit more manual than you would think, but it's very easy to do, and within 48 to 72 hours, I actually received these Hyatt points. So to walk you through the process relatively quickly, I ended up booking 4 nights at the Rio Casino Resort Hotel, which ended up being 9,000 points per night, or I believe it was 12,000 for the first night, and then 9,000 for the other 3 nights, which equated to about 39,000 total points. And what we ended up doing was I asked if my coworker could send me 9,000 points to accommodate his final stay, because again, I wasn't staying that final night and only he was staying there. And the only way to do this is through a point combining request form. So you find this PDF online from Hyatt's website. I'll leave a link down below for you guys to check this out. And again, like I said, it's a relatively manual process. Of course, I did it all on my iPad and all digitally. But basically what this does is for the person that's sending out the points to the other person. So for instance, let's call my coworker John. If John was sending me those 9,000 points, he would be the one to fill out this form, and then I would have to fill out my corresponding section. So basically what it asks for is the person's name, their World of Hyatt membership number, their phone number, their mailing address, and also their email to again confirm that this is the actual person doing this, and this isn't some random person just asking for points. And then what I do is I fill out the same exact information, my name, my World of Hyatt number, my phone, mailing address, and my email. And then on the bottom, there's a little bit of verbiage that says, I, John, authorize the World of Hyatt customer service to deduct X amount of points from my membership account number, and you input your membership account number, and then you input my membership account number, and then each one of us sign this, and then you either mail this in physically or email it to a Hyatt customer service representative. And what we did was obviously email it to make this a little bit quicker. And as I mentioned, and as you can see on the screen right now, within 3 days, I got those 9,000 points deposited into my World of Hyatt account, and now I have those 9,000 points to use. Now, of course, I normally transfer my Hyatt points from Chase, and that's what I did for this day, and I can't reverse transfer, so I can't transfer those 9,000 points from Hyatt back to Chase. But for the most part, I use all my Chase points for Hyatt stays, so it didn't really matter to me at this point. But that's one secret and one superpower that a lot of people don't know, and I was not aware of until I actually did this in practice. But do keep in mind that you can only do this once per month or once every 30 days. So make sure that you're doing it within that month and it's something that you want to do. So for instance, if I want to do this again next week, I will not be able to do this because I already did this in January. So keep that in mind, but having the ability to combine points through World of Hyatt members without having to have any real association with that member is something that I absolutely love. Now, the second thing I want to talk about, and the other superpower that Hyatt has, is going to be the Guest of Honor program, and this is something that I just did this past weekend at the Park Hyatt to get an immense amount of value for absolutely free. So the Guest of Honor program basically allows anybody that has this Guest of Honor certificate to mimic the perks and benefits of being a globalist member in the Hyatt loyalty program, which is the highest tier of status overall. Normally, to get the Hyatt globalist status, you gotta stay 60 nights in order to qualify to be a globalist member and get all the perks and benefits of being a globalist member. But one way to kind of try this out or bypass this for a certain amount of time is to have a Guest of Honor certificate. Now, I was actually gifted a Guest of Honor certificate because apparently they only last for about a year, and there is an expiration date to these before you can use it, and you actually can give these away to other Hyatt members even though they aren't part of your household or part of your benefit program, anything like that. So somebody was nice enough online because of this channel. They said that they had one that was expiring, they wanted to send it over to me, and I said, of course, let's do it, and then I finally redeemed it and used it. Before we get into the perks you get for being a Guest of Honor member, I do want to talk about how you can actually earn these by yourself. So Hyatt has these milestone rewards, which you get pretty much at every 10 night stays that you get, starting at the 20th night stay. And in order to get this Guest of Honor reward, you have to stay at least 40 nights, and you are rewarded 1 Guest of Honor reward. Now again, you can use this for yourself in a next stay, or you can gift this to anybody else that is a World of Hyatt member. And then at the 60-night milestone threshold, you can get up to 2 more Guest of Honor certificates, and it kind of just keeps going from there, where you get another one at the 70-night mark, another one at the 90-night mark, and then the 100-night mark, and it continues on pretty much all the way to 140 nights. So you can accumulate a lot of these if you stay at Hyatt properties. And now, these are extremely valuable, especially if you use them correctly, because it mimics basically being a globalist in the Hyatt program, and some of the perks and benefits you get for being a globalist are pretty much unmatched when you compare it to other loyalty programs. So like I mentioned, we stayed at the Park Hyatt in New York City for only 1 night, and again, it probably wasn't the best way to use it, because the Guest of Honor program allows you to use it for 1 stay or 1 booking, but up to 7 nights. So if we stayed at the Park Hyatt for 7 nights, we would have gotten all these benefits for every single day that we were there, versus just getting it for 1 night. But we wanted to use it because it expired at the end of February, and we had no other plans of staying at a Hyatt. So the first benefit you get is free parking at any Hyatt location. And for reference and for context, it's $80 per night for valet parking at the Park Hyatt in New York. Now this could be a little bit skewed because the Park Hyatt in New York City is one of the more expensive Park Hyatts or Hyatt properties to begin with, because it's in New York City and it's our Category 8 hotel, but we did save $80 by driving in our car and getting free valet parking there. So that was the first one. The second benefit that you get is going to be early check-in and late checkout. Early check-in is at the discretion of the property, but early checkout is 4 p.m. So you get 4 p.m. late checkout at any Hyatt property for any night, for any stay, when you are a globalist or when you do have your Guest of Honor program, which we did end up doing. Normal checkout is usually 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. depending on what the hotel has available, but no matter what, even if they're fully booked up, you can check out at 4 p.m. because you are a globalist for the time of using this Guest of Honor certificate. Another benefit you get is going to be club lounge access. Now the Park Hyatt here did not have one, but there are a multitude of Hyatt properties that do have club lounges, which is basically a way to get some free drinks, maybe some free food, a place to stay that's a little bit quieter, and basically just a lounge. It's essentially a smaller airport lounge at an actual Hyatt location, and that's how I've kind of equated it to. But the Park Hyatt did not have a club lounge. But to me, the most beneficial perk is going to be the free breakfast. You get free breakfast for up to 4 different people, 2 adults and 2 children, and depending on which location you're at, you can either dine in at the restaurant or even get room service. Now I have been told that room service is kind of far and in between, and those are mostly for the Park Hyatt and the Category 8 type of hotels, which again, we were at. So we did take advantage of getting room service breakfast in our room, which is an amazing thing to see, especially with a toddler, so we didn't have to kind of disturb anybody at the actual restaurant, because it is a relatively fancy restaurant. But again, because this is a Park Hyatt in New York City, the prices of the food and drink were so inflated. I'm talking about $60 per entree. I'm talking $15 to $20 for just a cup of coffee or a cold brew. So we saved a ton of money. And again, your mileage may vary on how much money you end up saving and how much value you get out of this, but we easily got around $200 worth of value for 2 adults and 1 toddler. We each get 1 entree and we each get 1 hot drink and 1 cold drink. And depending on what the hotel does, they might add some other appetizers and things like that. But I got a $60 entree, my wife got a $50 entree, my daughter got a $30 entree. I got a $16 cold brew, my wife got a smoothie, my daughter got some juice, and we got some hot coffee as well, and all that would have easily been $200 because they also charge $15 for delivery fee to your room. They put a 20% gratuity in there when you are paying cash, and those are all things that were completely waived. We didn't have to give any gratuity, although you can tip if you want to, but 0 gratuity is expected, as well as 0 delivery fee for the room. So we easily saved $200 on that. Then we saved the $80 on the valet parking, and we were able to stay an additional 3 to 4 hours before actually checking out to enjoy the room a little bit more. And as I said, if we wanted to, we could have used that for 7 nights if we were able to stay at the Park Hyatt for those 7 nights, but we could only stay 1 night for the time being, unfortunately. But if you or anybody else has these Guest of Honor certificates that are kind of just sitting around, ask if anybody else would want them, because it does give you a great one-of-a-kind experience if you are never going to reach that globalist status. But if you do have some extra ones, I'll gladly take one as well. And shout out to the person that did gift me one months ago now at this point. They will also now receive 1,000 points for every night that I stay, since I did redeem that. So hopefully you do get those 1,000 points in your account for letting me use your Guest of Honor certificate. So those are the 2 superpowers or secret superpowers that the Hyatt program has that not a lot of other programs can even compete with. So definitely take that into consideration when you are deciding which hotels to stay at. Hyatt is by far my favorite one, and if you're in the Chase ecosystem, it is going to be the best use of your points overall. And like I said, I just applied for the Hyatt card, and if you guys want to find out if I was actually approved for it, definitely check out the first video link down below for you guys to check that out. But that'll do it. If you guys want to watch more videos like this one, also check out one of these 2 videos right here. And until next time, I'm Fernando. Don't forget to leave a dolphin in the comments down below if you made it to the end. Peace, everybody.